So, with everything going on in Brussels, you do wonder here. You know that we're on a higher alert, especially cities like New York City. Chris Copeland is a Homeland Security and cybercrime expert on the line here right now. And Chris, what does this mean? What has happened in Brussels? What does it mean for us?
Well, it means that we're going to have to step up how we look for terrorists, how we look for radicalization, and we're going to be on our guard for quite some time.
You know, I had a conversation with somebody last night about this. How we are really going to be facing yet again the big question: how many of our rights are we willing to give up? How much of our privacy are we willing to give up for to protect ourselves from this type of a threat? That's going to be the question.
It's a great question because, it's going to vary from person to person. It's going to vary from ideology to ideology.
Yeah.
It's hard to make that one blanket fit all.
Right. I mean, we're seeing that with this case with Apple, right? I mean, people are really divided over whether or not they should be, their information should be secure, and should the government get it? And it's kind of followed by the news cycle. I would assume, because wasn't it just a couple of years ago everybody was saying the NSA, you got to stop them, they're getting into our information. Now we seem to be okay with it.
Exactly. There's it does follow with the news cycle, and it does follow with who's watching the information and for what purpose.
Yeah. How will we be stepping up security in your thoughts here? How will we do it?
Well, I can guarantee you that security has already been stepped up. You may not see more officers on the ground this morning, but I can guarantee you that the agencies that are involved with national security and keeping us safe have had a very long night.
Yeah.
So it's going to be down to the same processes: intelligence gathering, see where this person leads to this person, tracking money, those kind of things, watching communications. That's going to be how we step up.
Yeah. And what do these attacks end up meaning for our foreign relations? I know the president was getting a lot of criticism because he was watching a baseball game in Cuba.
So in terms of foreign relations, we have a very good relationship with Belgium and France in this regard. Stepping up to help them out is going to be the next logical step, especially in terms of any sort of intelligence we can gather to provide to them for their investigation.
When some of these things happen, I do wonder, like what happened out in California. I mean, this woman, the woman was on Facebook. She was there. Once we dug in and got her information, we found out if we would have just read what she was writing, we might have had our eye on these people. How good are we, and how good aren't we? I guess can you answer that? How good are we?
Yeah. So I mean, ultimately we're pretty good at it, but it only takes one miss.
Yeah.
That's the downside. Is that it only takes one missed case to cause an issue like this.
All right, Chris Copeland, thanks for taking the time this morning.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Attorney Joe Habaika in here right now. Crazy when you see this stuff happen over there, right?
Oh, yeah.
And you worry about it here, and you travel.
And there.
And when you go through security, it's a pain in the neck until one of these cases is recent, and then we're thinking, well, I guess it's okay. I feel a little safer. But as time goes on, we feel safe again, and we want convenience.
Well, I don't know. I'm considering, going. I was going to go to Europe, and you got to figure out.
Gotta wonder.
Yeah.
Hey, you're as an attorney. You recommend the people. Do you have all your stuff in order? Like if you were to die tomorrow, the will is done. Everything is in place. It just goes into autopilot.
Yes.
You have that all done, and people should have that stuff done.
Absolutely.
I have a new request.
What's that?
I found the most amazing guy and what he did and what he requested, and I just want to ask you if it's legal for me to do this.
Okay, what do you want to do?
I don't want to
become a...
Correct.
You want to be stuffed and you want to be placed somewhere?
I want it now. I want to be like this guy. See this man right here? This guy sitting here with his legs crossed? He's dead. That's his funeral, okay? He's sitting in a chair. He's not in a casket. His eyes aren't closed. He is sitting there. Are you able to see this from over there, Joe? You can't see it. See it? The man is dead.
I guess
it was like he's sitting at a party.
You'd actually have to talk to a funeral director, but I like it, Bill.
He's sitting at a party. He's dressed in his favorite soccer gear, wearing a baseball cap, He has his legs crossed, and he's kind of looking there with a smile on his face.
Wait, is that a
Would
wax?
you want to be propped up next to a jukebox or something like that? I think
I'm
there's
not.
a song about
I think
that.
I'd want to be wearing my headphones. I'd like to be sitting there, and people come up. I'd be ignoring them because
Actually,
I have my
I could think of
headphones on.
another. I could think of another pose for you.
Oh, my.
What kind of pose would that be?
Well, number one, you'd have a glass in your hand.
Well, I think you're right. I think I'd have a with a glass stirrer. I'd like a nice vodka on the rocks there.
And then waiting for something to finish on the stove would be the perfect thing for
You're
you.
absolutely right. I'd be cooking
you
there.
Fancy
With
yourself. You fancy yourself a
Joe,
a
this
chef.
is to me. This could be a real. I mean, would you? Do you really want to be in a casket with your eyes closed, laying there?
You better not bring the body to the
I'm not
studio.
a proponent. I'm not a proponent of
Open casket anyway.
I don't like it. I'm sorry, I don't.
Will you be cremated?
My brother was, and my mom was. Yeah, I probably
So
would
you
be.
would do that? Yeah.
No, he's just going to have a closed casket. And why is the casket closed? Well, Joe didn't want to see you when he was alive. He certainly doesn't want to see you now.
Here's a problem that I have with the whole death thing, and that is I'm claustrophobic. So if you put me in a casket, if there's any ability that I have to have any bit of consciousness, depending on what we all believe,
Sure.
I am going to be going nuts in there.
I was thinking,
and I don't like fire either. I mean, fire isn't.
Well,
so I'm
fire's
not sure what my
great
choice
either,
would
but,
be.
You know, I was thinking that maybe the way you'd want to do it is something similar to your Christmas show.
I
Just have
see.
people
Yeah.
You know what
come
I'm saying? Where you
sing
have
songs.
everybody come and there's entertainment.
Perform.
Yeah.
In lieu of flowers, bring turkey
I still want
turkey joints in lieu of flowers, please.
I want to challenge Rick Zaccaro again because he didn't stump
With the
me
music,
last
he's coming
time,
back
yeah.
in. We're going to have
Is
him.
he? Okay, good.
Andrew.
Also, too, with an open casket, sometimes, and I hate to say it, I've had family members that have passed that this has applied to. Sometimes they don't look the same,
They don't,
and
especially
it
if
doesn't
you're
do
younger. I
honor
know.
to, or it doesn't pay
Not
homage.
I'm
to
not
the
a
person.
fan of it.
Not to say that the funeral directors and these people don't do an amazing
Right.
job.
They
Right.
do an
Just-
amazing job.
But I'm thinking sitting there with a cocktail in my hand, my legs crossed.
I like
Although
it.
my legs are too short to have my legs crossed.
We'll leave
It
you
never-
right here in the studio.
Never looks right.
No,
Have me in the
no,
studio.
no,
This could be where you
no.
come in and do the
on
viewing.
a stool.
No.
On a stool,
No,
sitting
with your
here.
headphones on,
Headphones on, listening
Really
to
loud.
something. Yeah. Headphones are
We
very
have enough
loud.
ghosts in this building.
I guess so. You believe that, don't you there, Christine? All right. Here we go with
There are
your
ghosts here.
warmer weather, but showers today is what we're going to be looking at. We'll give you the full forecast. Coming up in a second, along with news, top of the hour, and the latest on what's going on in Brussels with Fox News, which is coming up right now.